Hey guys, in 6.9 we are learning about the surface area of pyramids and cones. Remember, take notes as we go along, figure out exactly what you need to write down, and write down the necessary things. So first of all, let's read from the beginning paragraph. The slant height of a pyramid or cone is measured along its lateral surface. This is the slant height. Remember, the lateral surface means the area around the cone. Okay, so the slant height right here is measured along its surface. The base of a regular pyramid, number 2, is a regular polygon and the lateral faces are all congruent. If it's a regular pyramid, that means that the base is a regular polygon, so basically it's like a circle, and the lateral faces are congruent. That means that the faces are all the same for a regular pyramid. In a right cone, so this one, a line perpendicular to the base through the tip of a cone passes through the center of the base. So what they're saying is that if there's a line perpendicular to the base like this, and it lands right in the middle, then it passes through the center. If it goes all the way up to the top. If it goes all the way up to the top and it goes all the way down, it's the center of the base. Now here's some of our equations that we need to know. So I want you guys to pay attention very carefully, okay? So this is our original pyramid. And as you guys can see, it's getting kind of unfolded, so to say. So this got unfolded this way. This point got unfolded this way. This point got unfolded this way. And this point got unfolded this way. You guys see how there's 4 different sides that got unraveled as? Now the formula for a pyramid is, I want you to know this one. The surface area is the base, the area of the base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the length. What perimeter, the P perimeter means is the area around the square. So the perimeter of the square, and L length is basically the slant height. Okay, L is the slant height. So what we have to do for equation is surface area is equal to base is 12 times 12, so 144, plus 1/2 times the base is 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, which is 48, which is shown right here, times 8, which is the slant height. And that's going to get us 336 units squared. Remember, it's squared because we're talking about surface area. Okay? So the equation you guys need to know for surface area of a pyramid is base, the area of the base, plus 1/2 times the perimeter times the length. Now the second equation is for the cone. Now if you guys look here, the cone is being kind of unraveled. This is the base and this is the top of the cone. If you roll this up, then it'll become that top of the cone. Okay, so this is the top of the cone unrolled. Now that equation is done by the base, so the area of the base, which is pi r squared, we should know that by now. Area of a circle is pi r squared. And then the area of this shape is going to be found by doing pi r times the slant height. So pi r squared right here is the area of the base, so pi times 3 squared, plus the area of this figure is done by pi times the radius times the slant height, which is 4. Alright, so you guys got to know those equations. Look over this, re-watch this part if you need to. So here's our first equation. We have a pyramid, so we have to use base. Surface area is the area of the base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the length. So surface area is the base is 1.5 times 1.5 plus 1/2 times the total perimeter, which is 6, and then the slant height, which is 2. Okay, so this is going to be 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25 plus 1/2 times 6 times 2 is going to get us 6. So the surface area is 8.25 inches squared. For the next one, we have a cone. The surface area of a cone is pi r squared plus pi r times the length. So surface area is pi r squared plus pi r times the slant height. So pi times r squared, the radius is 2 squared, plus pi times the radius, which is 2, times the slant height, which is 5. Remember, the slant height is this diagonal right here. So let's go ahead and solve that. We're going to get 4 pi plus 10 pi. 4 pi plus 10 pi is 14 pi meters squared. Okay, and then you can also multiply that by pi if you would like. So now we're going to try to figure out, okay, what happens if we double the length of any of these dimensions. Okay, so the diameter of a cone is 8 inches and the slant height is 5. Now if this is our cone, remember the diameter is 8, so the radius is 4, and the slant height is 5. Okay, whenever they give you diameter, you have to make sure you cut it in half to get your radius. So here's the original dimensions. We're going to do pi r, which is 4 squared, plus pi times 4 times 5. So that's going to get us 16 pi plus, wow, I cannot read my handwriting, plus 20 pi, which is 36 pi. So 36 pi, we can do 36 times 3.14, and it should get us about 113.04 for the original dimensions. Now for the second one, we're going to double the slant height. Let's see what happens when we double the slant height. Well, we know that one side is going to be 16 pi for the base, plus pi times 4, and then the slant height is 5, so 2 times 5. So that's going to get us 16 pi plus 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40, so 40 pi, and that's going to be 56 pi, and then inches squared. This is also inches squared. So 56 times 3.14 is going to get us 175.84 inches squared. So it's not even double, okay? Not even double. Now lastly, we're going to double the radius and see what happens. So this is doubling the radius. So 2 times 4 squared plus, and we know that this second part is going to be 20 pi. So that's going to get us 2 times 4 is 8. 8 squared is 64. Oh, did I forget a pi? I forgot a pi. It should be, where is it supposed to be? Oh, right here. This is pi, actually. So this should be pi. So 64. So 64 pi plus 20 pi. And that's going to get us 84 pi. 84 pi is, again, 84 times 3.14. So that's 263.76 pi, which is about double our original. Okay, last one, I want to go over this. It's a life science application. It says an antline pit is an inverted cone. So you guys see how this is an inverted cone, okay? With the dimensions shown, what is a lateral surface? So we're trying to figure out what is this L lateral surface. And so the slant height and the radius, which is right here, and the depth of the pit forms a right triangle. You see how that forms a right triangle? And so what we're going to do is we're going to find out the slant height by using Pythagorean theorem. So remember, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So what is a squared? A squared is 2, let's say, 2 squared plus b squared is 2.5 squared, and that's going to equal the slant height. So 4 plus 6.25 is equal to slant height. So we have 10.25 is equal to the slant height, and we have to take the square root of that. So the length is going to be about 3.2 centimeters. Okay, so you guys see how we use Pythagorean theorem to figure out the slant height. That might come up. Okay, that might come up on one of your questions. You might have something like this, and they might tell you the radius as like 2 and the depth as 3, and you might have to figure out this slant height in red in order to figure out the surface area. Alright, please make sure you guys do the exercise. Please do not forget, and I will see you guys tomorrow.